Thunder rumbles, but it's muffled by the thick glass of the restaurant. Outside, the neighborhood is a ghost town. People have retreated indoors because they saw the black sedans pull up. Mr. Kwon sits alone at a central table. He is eating jjajangmyeon. The dark sauce is the only stain allowed in his presence. His men, including his lethal shadow, Jae-hun, stand like stone statues against the walls. The door doesn't just open, it is thrown back so hard the glass rattles. Dahlia collapses into the room. She is drenched. Blood from a split lip mixes with the rain on her face. She doesn't look at the guards. She doesn't look at the expensive decor. She looks at the man at the center of the web. The guards move to intercept, hands reaching for concealed weapons. Mr. Kwon, "가만히 있어." The guards freeze. Dahlia stumbles toward him. The sound of her wet sneakers on the marble is the only noise in the room. She reaches the table, her small, trembling hands leaving muddy prints on the white linen. She leans in, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She whispers into his ear, the ear that usually only hears million-dollar bribes or death sentences. They're beating my mama. They said you gave them the neighborhood. They said you won't care. The entire room holds its breath. This is the monster. He once burned a man alive for interrupting his dinner. Mr. Kwon's hand, holding a silver chopstick, stops. He slowly turns his head. His eyes are like obsidian, hard, dark, and reflecting nothing. He looks at the blood on the girl's lip. He reaches out and touches the blood with a thumb. Who told them I wouldn't care? The men in the leather jackets with the chains. Mr. Kwon stands. He doesn't just get up, he rises like a storm. He takes a clean white handkerchief from his pocket and hands it to Dahlia. Sir, shall I call the local captain to handle the disturbance? No, this isn't a disturbance. This is a challenge. They used my name to hurt a child. He looks at Dahlia, and for a split second, the monster mask cracks. He sees something in her, a ghost of his own past. He reaches for his heavy overcoat and drapes it over her small frame. It's too big. She looks like a soldier in oversized armor. Close the doors. Nobody leaves until I return. He walks toward the exit. He doesn't grab a gun. He doesn't put on gloves. He just walks out into the rain. Jae-hun and 6 other men follow, their silhouettes looking like reapers. The Mafia Boss is walking down the middle of the street, the rain soaking his $5,000 suit. He isn't running, he is marching. Behind him, the black sedans crawl at his pace, headlights cutting through the dark like the eyes of a beast. He is heading for the project housing. He is heading for a war he wasn't supposed to start. Mr. Kwon descends into the heart of the projects, proving that while he may be a monster, he is the only one allowed to hunt in this jungle. The hallway is narrow and smells of stale grease and fear. At the end of the hall, apartment 4B, the door hangs off one hinge. Inside, 3 men, thugs for the Han Syndicate, are tossing the small apartment. One is holding a woman, Lena, 30s, Dahlia's mom, by her hair. She is bruised, her eyes glazed with terror. Where's the rest of it, Lena? You think Mr. Han cares about your excuses? He raises a fist, but he never lands the blow. The door to the apartment doesn't open, it explodes inward as if hit by a battering ram. Jae-hun enters first, a blur of motion, disarming the first thug with a sickening crack of a wrist. Then Mr. Kwon steps through the threshold. He looks out of place in his tailored silk suit amidst the peeling wallpaper and broken furniture. He steps over the debris, his eyes locking on the man holding Lena. Kwon? What are you doing here? This is Han's business. We have a treaty. The treaty says you collect debt. It does not say you touch what is mine. Yours? Since when is this trash yours? Kwon moves faster than a man his age should. He grabs him by the throat and slams him against the wall. The sound of the impact echoes like a gunshot. Since a child cried on my shoulder. He drops the man and turns to Jae-hun. Take the mother to my doctor. Use the private entrance. And these 3, boss. Kwon looks at the thugs. They aren't just criminals, they're bullies. He hates bullies. He pulls a heavy gold ring from his finger, the one with the black tiger seal, and puts it in his pocket. He doesn't want to get blood on the family crest. Leave them, but make sure they can never hold a weapon again. Or a spoon. Dahlia is sitting in the back seat, wrapped in Kwon's massive overcoat. The door opens and Mr. Kwon slides in next to her. He smells like the rain and iron. He doesn't ask if she's okay. He knows she isn't. He hands her a phone. On the screen is a live video feed of her mother being treated by a top-tier surgeon in a clean, white room. Is she going to live? She will live, and the men who did this will wish they hadn't. Why are you helping us? People say you're a monster. Kwon looks out the window as the passing city lights. Maybe I am, but even monsters have a home to protect. From now on, your home is with me. Mr. Kwon introduces Dahlia to his world, but the underworld demands a sacrifice for his breach of protocol. Cold marble, floor-to-ceiling glass, and the oppressive silence of a palace built on secrets. The estate is a monolith of black glass and steel perched on a cliffside. Inside, it's clinical, quiet, and smells of expensive cedar. Dahlia walks through the foyer, her sneakers squeaking on the polished stone. She is still wearing Mr. Kwon's overcoat. It trails behind her like a royal cape. She stops in front of a massive traditional Korean painting of a tiger prowling through bamboo forest. The tiger does not hunt because he is hungry. He hunts because it is his nature. Dahlia turns. Kwon is standing by a wet bar, pouring tea, not alcohol. Is that why you helped my mama? Because it's your nature? My nature is to destroy things, Dahlia. Helping is a new experiment. Jae-hun enters, his face grim. He holds a tablet. He looks at Dahlia, then at Kwon. The board is screaming, boss. Mr. Han has called for a black meeting. He's claiming you broke the 1998 treaty by crossing into his territory and maiming his collectors. They want a blood debt paid. A blood debt for those 3 stray dogs? They aren't just dogs anymore. Han is using them as symbols. He's telling the other families that you've gone soft for a foreigner's child. If you don't hand her over or pay 10 times the value of the territory, they'll vote for a purge. Dahlia's eyes go wide. She understands hand her over. Her grip tightens on the coat. You're going to give me back? Kwon walks over to her. He doesn't look like a monster now. He looks like a teacher. He reaches into the pocket of the coat she's wearing and pulls out a small ornate dagger, a family heirloom. He places it in her hand. In my world, there are 2 types of people, those who beg for mercy and those who command respect. He looks at Jae-hun. Tell Han and the others the meeting won't be at the neutral site. It will be here, at my table. And tell them to dress well. They are guests of the Black Tiger. The room is tense. 5 men, the heads of the city's most brutal syndicates, sit around a long mahogany table. Mr. Han, 60s, a man with a scarred face and a loud voice, slams his hand on the wood. Where is he, Jae-hun? We didn't come here to admire the architecture. We came for the girl and the apology. The heavy double doors swing open. Mr. Kwon enters, but he isn't leading. He is walking half a step behind Dahlia. Dahlia is no longer in rags. She is wearing a sharp, custom-fitted black suit. Her hair is braided tight. Her face is a mask of stone, though her hands are trembling slightly under the table edge. Kwon pulls out the chair at the head of the table, his chair. Gentlemen, you wanted to discuss the incident in the projects. He gestures to Dahlia. But I am no longer the person in charge of that territory. As of tonight, I have gifted the 4th District to this young lady. If you have a problem with what happened to your men, you speak to the boss of the 4th District. The room goes deathly silent. Mr. Han looks like he's about to have a stroke. You gave a district to a child? A black girl from the slums? This is an insult to our bloodline. Then insult her. Go ahead. But remember, an insult to a boss at this table is an act of war, and I am still her senior advisor. Dahlia looks at Mr. Han. She remembers his men hitting her mother. She finds a spark of fire deep in her chest. She picks up the small dagger Kwon gave her and stabs it into the table, right in front of Han. You owe my mama a new door and an apology. Kwon hides a smirk behind his hand. The war hasn't just started, it's been redefined. The transition from victim to apprentice begins. Kwon realizes that to keep Dahlia alive, he must turn her mind into a weapon as sharp as his own. The club is hidden beneath an opera house. It is the playground of the city's corrupt elite. Mr. Kwon sits at a circular poker table, surrounded by 3 wealthy businessmen and a high-ranking police official. Dahlia stands directly behind Kwon. She is quiet, observant. She is no longer wearing the oversized overcoat. She is in a tailored vest and trousers, looking like a young prodigy. Do not mind the girl. She is my eyes tonight. I am getting old. My vision is failing. The men laugh, but it's a nervous laughter. Everyone knows Kwon's eyes see through bone. A child shouldn't be in a room where men lose their life savings, Kwon. If she can't handle a card game, she can't handle the 4th district. Deal. The game progresses, the stakes climb into the millions. Kwon is playing aggressively, but he is losing. He is testing Dahlia. He wants to see if she is watching the cards or the people. Dahlia's eyes dart from player to player. She notices the banker's left pinky finger twitch every time he looks at his cards. She notices the police official sweating. Kwon looks at Dahlia. He's impressed. She didn't just see the bully, she saw the system. But tonight, the boss of the 4th district will decide your fate. Dahlia? Dahlia looks at the banker, who is now trembling. She remembers how her mother was treated. No trial, just violence. She takes a deep breath, channeling Kwon's coldness. Take the money he cheated tonight. Give half to the community center in my neighborhood. The other half, use it to pay off the medical bills of every person Han's men hurt this month. The banker looks relieved until Dahlia adds, and if I see you in my district again, I won't send Mr. Kwon. I'll send the police you've been paying off to arrest you for the tax fraud I heard you bragging about 10 minutes ago. Kwon stands up, adjusting his tie. He looks at his men. You heard her. Move. As they walk toward the black sedan, a sniper's red laser dot dances across the pavement, moving toward Dahlia's chest. Get down! The war becomes personal. As the shadows close in, Dahlia must choose between the life she knew and the power she is discovering, while Kwon's past finally catches up to him. The estate is a beautiful traditional wooden fortress nestled in the mist. It looks peaceful, but the perimeter is lined with motion sensors and men with thermal goggles. Lena sits on a low silk cushion, her ribs bandaged, her face still showing the fading yellow of bruises. She looks at Dahlia, who is cleaning a small high-tech tracking device Kwon taught her to use. Look at you. You look like one of them. We were supposed to get help, Dahlia, not join a circus of killers. They were going to kill you, Mama. Mr. Kwon stopped them. Nobody else even looked our way. Because they're scared of him. He's a monster, baby. You're trading your soul for a suit. We need to leave, tonight. Go where? Back to the projects? Back to hiding when the rent is due? Here, they bow when I walk in. Mr. Kwon answers from the shadows of the hallway. He has heard everything. Lena glares at him with pure hatred. What do you want with her? Why her? Kwon doesn't answer immediately. He walks to a heavy wooden desk and opens a hidden compartment. He pulls out a weathered silver locket. He opens it and hands it to Lena. Inside is a photo of a young black woman in the 1990s, smiling in front of a small grocery store in Seoul. Her name was Naomi. She was the daughter of a soldier stationed here. She was the only person who saw me before I was a monster. What happened to her? The families, the same ones at that table, decided a man in my position shouldn't love someone like her. They used her to get to me. I wasn't strong enough then to stop them. He looks at Dahlia, his obsidian eyes softening just a fraction. I didn't help you because I'm a good man. I helped you because when you ran to me, I realized I finally had the power to finish the fight I lost 30 years ago. I'm not just making you a boss, Dahlia. I'm making you untouchable. Jae-hyun is staring at the monitors. A proximity alarm pings. A thermal signature appears on the screen. Then another, then another. Boss, we have ghosts on the North Ridge. No ID, no chatter. They're using Han's signature jamming tech. Kwon looks at the screen. He doesn't look worried. He looks ready. He turns to Dahlia and hands her a sleek black radio. This is your first lesson in real command. I will handle the front gate. You will lead your mother and 2 guards through the spider tunnels to the extraction point. I'm staying with you. A leader's first duty is the safety of their people. Your mother is your people. Go, now. Dahlia hesitates, then nods. She grabs her mother's hand. As they head for the hidden door, she looks back. Don't die. That's an order. Kwon actually laughs, a dry, raspy sound. He pulls a silenced pistol from his waistband. I've been dead for 30 years, kid. Tonight, I just started breathing again. It's too tight in here, Dahlia. I can't breathe. Focus on my voice, Mama. We're almost to the clearing, just like the game we used to play when the lights went out in the apartment. Follow the light. Dahlia stops. She catches a reflection in a small puddle on the floor. Behind her, Officer Park is holding his tactical flashlight, but he isn't pointing it at the ground. He's clicking it in a rhythmic pattern toward a ventilation shaft. Short, short, long. Dahlia remembers Kwon's lesson. The man who looks at the exit is a runner. The man who looks at his watch is a waiter. The man who looks at nothing is the enemy. Officer Park, my shoe is untied. Hold the light for me. Park hesitates, then steps forward. As he leans down, Dahlia notices a small tattoo behind his ear, the 3-petal mark of the Han Syndicate's junior recruits. Monster see, monster do. In one fluid motion, Dahlia doesn't tie her shoe. She spins and slams the heavy maglite into Park's kneecap. As he grunts and falls, she grabs the dagger from her waistband, the one Kwon gave her, and presses it to the radio on his vest, slicing the wires before he can scream for backup. Boss, what are you doing? Check his ear, Chin. He's signaling. He's the reason they found the estate. He's the reason they found us. Chin kicks Park over, sees the tattoo, and his face hardens. He looks at Dahlia with a new kind of terror, not because of what she did, but because of how easily she did it. Dahlia, stop. This isn't you. It has to be me, Mama, or we both die in this hole. The tunnel exit is a disguised hatch in the middle of a dense thicket of pines. Dahlia and Chin pull Lena out into the freezing night air. In the distance, the estate is glowing, not with lights, but with the orange flicker of fire. The sound of an explosion ripples through the valley. Tiger 1, this is the cub. We are at the extraction point. 1 mole neutralized. Come in, Tiger 1. There is only static. Then a voice that isn't Kwon's breaks through. It's Mr. Han. The tiger is busy fighting for his life, little girl, but don't worry, I've sent a friend to meet you at the clearing. Suddenly, the red laser dots return, not 1, but half a dozen, dancing across Lena's chest. Get her behind the rock, now! Lena is pushed behind a granite boulder by Officer Chin. The red laser sights disappear for a second as the mercenaries move for a better angle. Dahlia huddles low, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. Suddenly, a figure ghosts out of the tree line. It's Jae-yun. His suit is torn and blood soaks his left shoulder, but his grip on his weapon is steady. Down, boss. They have the high ground. A volley of fire-ups erupts from the trees. Bark chips fly off the trees. Jae-yun returns fire, his movements precise and mechanical. Dahlia, look at the ridge. The one in the gray tactical vest is the leader. If he falls, they'll scramble. I can't get a clean angle. You have the smaller profile. Use the crevice in the rock. He slides a sleek, lightweight handgun across the frozen dirt toward her. Dahlia stares at it. It looks like a heavy, cold piece of death. No, Dahlia, don't touch it. They're going to kill you, Mama. Dahlia grabs the gun. It's heavier than she thought. She crawls into the narrow crevice of the granite boulder. She sights the man in the gray vest. He's adjusting a thermal scope, preparing to flush them out with a grenade. Dahlia's finger trembles on the trigger. She remembers Kwon's voice. Don't aim at the man, aim at the threat. If you hesitate, you've already killed the person you love. She exhales. The world goes silent. The suppressed shot is small, but the impact is massive. The man on the ridge collapses. The other mercenaries pause, confused by the sudden loss of their lead. Jae-yun uses the opening to launch a counter-assault, his suppressed fire picking them off with terrifying efficiency. The clearing is quiet. The only sound is the wind and the distant crackle of the burning estate. Jae-yun is checking the bodies. Dahlia, come here. Dahlia walks over, her legs feeling like lead. She looks at the man she shot. He isn't a monster, he's just a man in a vest. But as Jae-yun flips him over, he isn't looking for a pulse, he's looking for intel. He pulls a laminated folder from his inner pocket. Inside is a surveillance packet. It has photos of the Kwon estate, maps of the tunnels, and a single candid photo of a man in his late 30s sitting in a bar in Seoul. Dahlia gasps. The gun slips from her hand, thudding into the snow. That's my dad. What? No, Marcus died in the States 10 years ago. The police said. He didn't die, Lena. He ran. He's been working as a contract liaison for the Han Syndicate for years. He's the one who gave them the blueprints to the apartment. He's the one who told Han how to hurt you to get to me. Dahlia looks at the photo. Her dad, the man she used to wait for by the window, had sold her out for a paycheck. He's not my dad. He's just another debt that needs to be settled. Out of the ashes of the mountain estate, the monster returns to find a student who is no longer afraid to look him in the eye. Dahlia, Lena, and Jae-hyun wait by a nondescript SUV at the extraction point. The silence is heavy. Dahlia is staring at the photo of her father, Marcus, her thumb tracing the edge of the paper until it bends. A low rumble vibrates through the road. A single black sedan, its windshield spiderwebs with bullet holes, and its bumper hanging by a wire, crests the hill. It stops 10 feet away. The door creaks open. Mr. Kwon steps out. His white shirt is stained crimson at the shoulder, and his tie is gone. He looks exhausted, but his eyes are burning with a terrifying dark energy. "Boss, we thought you stayed alive? Good." Dahlia doesn't run to him. She walks up and holds out the photo of Marcus. "Did you know? Did you know he was the one who sold the blueprints?" Kwon takes the photo. He doesn't look surprised. He looks disappointed, the way a predator looks at a scavenger. "I suspected a leak. I didn't know the name. In this world, blood is usually the first thing people sell when they get desperate." Kwon looks at her. The love in his eyes is buried deep under layers of mafia discipline, but it's there, a fierce pride. He realizes she's no longer just surviving, she is conquering. Call the elders. Tell them the Black Tiger is inviting them to a digital execution. The elders, 3 ancient Korean men in traditional hanboks, sit in a room filled with flickering monitors. They look confused and insulted. Mr. Han is there too, smug and confident. "What is this, Kwon? A video game? Stop wasting our time and surrender the girl." Dahlia enters. She sits at the main console. Her fingers fly across the keys. "Mr. Han, check your phone." Han sneers, pulling out his encrypted device. His face goes from pale to ashen. "That's your Cayman account. It's empty. Now look at the screen on the wall." The screen shows a list of every bribe Han has paid to the city council in the last 5 years. In 30 seconds, this goes to the national police and the press, unless the board agrees that the Han Syndicate has violated the peace and forfeits their seat. The elders whisper. They see power shifting. It's not about who has the biggest gun anymore. It's about who controls the information. Kwon's hand is around Han's throat before he can even cross the rug. "Careful, Han. You're talking to a peer now, and she has a very itchy enter key." The restaurant is pitch black, save for a single construction light humming in the center of the room. Mr. Han sits where Mr. Kwon once sat. He looks haggard. His empire has vanished into the cloud, and he has nothing left but his rage. Lena is zip-tied to a chair opposite him. She is terrified, but when she hears the front door creak, she screams through her gag. "Put the gun on the floor, little girl. I know you're out there." Dahlia steps into the light. She isn't carrying a gun. She carries a small silver briefcase. She looks remarkably calm, though her eyes are fixed on her mother. "I'm here, Han. Let her go." "You wanted the codes to the offshore accounts. They're in here." "You think I care about the money now? You destroyed my name. The board laughed at me because of you. I'm going to kill her, then I'm going to kill you, and then I'll see if Kwon has any tears left." "If you kill us, the encryption on those accounts locks forever. You'll die a broke man in a dirty alley. Is that the legacy of the Han Syndicate? Check the briefcase." 2 of Han's last loyalists approach Dahlia. As they reach for the case, Dahlia's eyes flick upward to the dark rafters of the ceiling. "Now." The skylight shatters. Jae-hyun and a team of Black Tiger strikers drop on lines like spiders. The room explodes into a flurry of suppressed gunfire and tactical precision. But Mr. Han is fast. He grabs Lena, pulling a snub-nosed revolver to her temple. "Stay back! I'll do it, I swear." The strikers freeze. Jae-hyun has a red dot on Han's head, but the angle is too risky. Lena is in the way. Mr. Kwon walks out from the kitchen area. He is the only one not holding a weapon. He walks slowly, his footsteps heavy on the glass-strewn floor. "Look at me, Han. You and I, we're the past. We're the monsters who built this city on bones. But she?" He points to Dahlia. "She's the future. She did more to you with a keyboard in 10 minutes than I did with a gun in 10 years. Give the mother to me. This is between us. You always were a sentimental fool, Kwon." "I'm not sentimental." Dahlia reaches into her jacket, not for a gun, but for a remote. She presses a button. Every phone in the room, including the ones in the pockets of Han's men, starts chiming a high-pitched, piercing alert. "I didn't just empty your accounts, Han. I put a $10 million bounty on your head using your own money. The contract went live 10 seconds ago. Every mercenary in this city just got your GPS coordinates." The men standing behind Han look at their phones. Then they look at Han. The loyalty in the room evaporates instantly. "If you kill my mama, they won't get paid, because I'm the only one who can authorize the transfer." The men turn their guns on their own boss. Lena sits on the edge of the bed. She is packed and ready to go. The bruises are fading, but the light in her eyes has changed. It's dimmed by a deep, hollow fear. Dahlia stands by the window, looking down at the street where 2 black sedans are idling. She is wearing a dark silk blouse. She looks like she belongs in a boardroom or a throne room. "Mr. Kwon's men have the tickets, Dahlia. A flight to Geneva, then a train to a small town where nobody knows our names. We can be free, truly free." "Free to do what, Mama? Hide? Wait for the next Mr. Han to find us?" "No, free to be normal. You can go back to school. You can have friends who don't carry knives in their sleeves. Please, look at me." Dahlia turns. Her face is a mask of control, a mirror of Mr. Kwon's. "If I go with you, I'm just a girl running away. If I stay, I'm the reason you're safe. As long as I hold the 4th district, no one will ever dare look for you in Switzerland. My power is your peace." "That's not love, Dahlia. That's a prison. You're becoming like him. You're becoming a monster." "Maybe, but I'm a monster who loves you." The helicopter blades whip the air into a frenzy. Mr. Kwon stands with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the exchange. Jae-hyun helps Lena into the craft. Lena looks back at Dahlia one last time. She doesn't wave, she just closes the door. The helicopter rises, disappearing into the gray Seoul skyline. Dahlia stands alone on the concrete. Her shoulders tremble for a single second, then they set like stone. She turns to Mr. Kwon. "The first cut is the deepest. It gets easier to bleed after this." "I don't want it to be easy. I want it to be worth it." "What's next?" "Next, we stop reacting. We start building. You have the money and the digital edge. Now you need the respect of the streets. Not the bosses in suits, the people in the shadows." He hands her a set of keys to an old, unassuming warehouse in the 4th district. "Your new office. No silk curtains, no marble. Just the truth." A massive crowd has gathered. These aren't the men in suits. These are the street kings. Young men in hoodies, veteran block leaders, and the disenfranchised youth of the district. They carry bats and bricks. "We traded one master to another. They sent a little girl to play boss, while the Koreans take our sweat and blood. We don't want a queen. We want our streets back. The dates won't hold. I have a tactical team 2 minutes out. We can clear the square with tear gas and rubber bullets." "No. If you fire on them, you prove Trey is right. You prove I'm just an occupier." "Dahlia, that's suicide. There are 300 people out there looking for a scapegoat." The heavy steel door groans as it rolls upward. The light from the warehouse spills onto the street. The crowd falls into an eerie, expectant silence. Dahlia walks out. She doesn't have a security detail. She doesn't have a megaphone. She walks until she is 10 feet from Trey's car. A brick whizzes past her head, shattering against the warehouse wall. She doesn't flinch. Trey, you're shouting about your streets? I lived on 12th and Main. I remember when your older brother was the king. I also remember when he died because the Han Syndicate wouldn't pay for his surgery after he took a bullet for them. The crowd murmurs. Trey's face hardens, but he lowers the megaphone. You think I'm a puppet? Look at the screen. She gestures to the side of the warehouse. A high-lumen projector beams a spreadsheet on the brick wall. It's not complex mafia accounting. It's a list of every tax the local shops had to pay to the previous bosses and where that money went. High-rise apartments, luxury cars, gold watches. Under the old way, 90% of your work went to buy a man in Gangnam a new yacht. Under my way, she clicks a remote. The projection changes to a map of the 4th district. Areas are highlighted in green. That money stays here. We're reopening the clinic on 5th. We're hiring your cousins to fix the wiring in the projects. I'm not your master, Trey. I'm your banker. And if any Korean boss tries to touch a cent of the 4th district's profit, they have to go through me. Why should we trust you? You're one of them now. Dahlia walks right up to the car and looks him in the eye. Because I'm the only one at the table who knows what it's like to be hungry. She pulls out a thick envelope, the street tax Han's men had collected that morning, and tosses it to Trey. Give that back to the shopkeepers on this block. Tell them the 4th district is under new management, and tell them the queen doesn't take lunch money. The crowd looks at the money and the girl. The tension snaps. It doesn't turn into a cheer, it turns into respect. Trey steps down from the car. He doesn't bow, but he nods. We'll see, little queen. We'll see. The 3 elders sit behind a raised mahogany dais. Elder Shin, the man who practically raised Mr. Kwon, is reading a report through gold-rimmed spectacles. He looks disappointed. Kwon, we built this empire on the sweat of the weak. That is the natural order. This girl, she is giving the sweat back. Our margins in the 4th district have dropped by 40%. The margins are down, but the loyalty is up. We no longer need 100 soldiers to guard the 4th district. The people guard it for us. It's a more efficient model. It is a dangerous model. If the other districts see the 4th living without fear, they will want the same. You aren't building a syndicate, Kwon. You're building a revolution. In the corner, Dahlia watches silently. She notices something. Elder Shin's Jae-hun is slumped in a heavy metal chair in the center of the floor. His breathing is shallow. Beneath the chair is a complex web of wires and C4 plastic explosives. A digital timer shows 0214. Dahlia moves through the shadows of the mezzanine. She signals Trey and his crew to hold their positions at the exits. He gestures to a small metal square on the floor. You forgot one thing about the 4th district, Song. We own the infrastructure. A low mechanical groan vibrates through the building. Above Song's head, a massive gantry crane, the kind used to lift 40-ton shipping containers, begins to move. What are you doing? I'm changing the rules. Dahlia slams her finger onto the execute button. A massive steel shipping container drops from the rafters with a deafening boom, slamming onto the floor between Dahlia and Song's gunmen. It acts as a 40-ton shield. Simultaneously, the crane's magnetic hoist drops. It doesn't grab the chair, it grabs the steel floor plate that Jae-hun is sitting on. No! Trey, cover the roof! The crane rips the entire section of the floor, Jae-hun, chair, bomb, and all, straight up through the skylight. As the bomb reaches the apex of the crane's height, far above the warehouse, it detonates. The shockwave shatters the remaining windows. Dahlia is thrown back by the blast, but she's already rolling. She looks up to see the crane's arm swinging Jae-hun's scorched but intact chair safely onto the roof, where her crew is waiting. You little brat! Dahlia doesn't wait. She pulls her own weapon, the one Jae-hun taught her to use, and fires a single, perfect shot into the crane's control box behind Song. The gears grind, and the catwalk Song is standing on collapses into the darkness below. The rescue team returns. Jae-hun is leaning heavily on Trey, his face pale, his clothes singed. They expect to see Mr. Kwon standing by the window, ready with a sharp critique or a silent nod. Instead, they find him in a study. He is sitting in his leather chair, head tilted back, looking out at the skyline. A single legal document sits on his lap. He looks peaceful, but the hand resting on the armrest is cold. The monster is gone. Dahlia walks toward him slowly. She doesn't cry. She can't afford to, not yet. She picks up the document. It's the final transfer of the Black Tiger Trust. Beneath his signature, in shaky handwriting, are 3 words: earn the rest. Boss. Trey? Dahlia, the street is buzzing. The Soul Tigers know. They're saying the king is dead and the throne is up for grabs. The Council of Elders is already meeting at the Elders' Temple. They aren't coming to mourn. They're coming to take the keys to the 4th District. Dahlia looks at her mentor's hand. She reaches down and slides the black tiger ring, the heavy gold seal of the syndicate, off his finger. She puts it on her own thumb. It's too big, so she takes a piece of her tactical wrap and winds it around the band until it fits snug. Can you stand? For you? Always. Good, because we aren't waiting for the elders to come to us. She walks to the wall-sized map of the city. She takes a red marker and circles the elders' temple. Kwon spent his life playing by their rules. That's why he was tired. I'm not playing by the code of 1998. I'm writing a new one. Trey, tell the boys to get the bikes. We're going to the funeral, but we're bringing the fire. The remaining elders are huddled in the candlelit hall, whispering about how to split Kwon's assets. They stop as the heavy wooden doors are kicked open. Dahlia enters, flanked by Jae-hun and a dozen armed kings from the 4th District. She isn't in a suit. She's in her combat gear, stained with the soot of the harbor blast. How dare you enter this sacred place with weapons? The tiger is dead, girl. Your protection is gone. The tiger isn't dead. He just changed skins. She slams a laptop on the central altar. I have the keys to every account, every bribe, and every secret Kwon ever kept. If you vote to strip the 4th District tonight, I don't just walk away. I leak it all. I'll burn the syndicate to the ground and dance on the ashes with the people you've been stepping on for 30 years. The elders look at the girl. They don't see a charity project. They see exactly what Kwon promised, a successor who is smarter, younger, and far more dangerous because she has nothing left to lose. The siege is in full swing. Trey and his crew are behind makeshift barricades of tires and scrap metal, trading fire with professional mercenaries. The air is thick with the scent of spent brass and fear. A battered, unmarked car screeches through the line, its tires smoking. It slams into the warehouse doors. Jae-hun raises his rifle, ready to shred the driver. Wait! The door opens. Marcus stumbles out. He looks like a man who hasn't slept in weeks, haggard, trembling, and covered in grease. He isn't holding a weapon. He's holding a heavy lead-lined briefcase. Dahlia, you have to evacuate. They aren't trying to take the block anymore. I told you to disappear, Marcus. Why are you here? Because Song is insane. He's lost his investors, his territory, everything. He's not playing for the throne anymore. He's playing for a grave. He's got a chemical dispersion unit, a dirty bomb. He's going to set it off in the ventilation hub of the projects. It won't just kill your soldiers, Dahlia. It'll poison the whole district for decades. Dahlia looks at the lead-lined case in her hand. What's in the box? The bypass key. I was the one who installed the security for the ventilation hub when I worked for Han. Song didn't know I kept a master override. I stole it from his office an hour ago. They're right behind me. It's a trap. He's leading them straight to us. Why come back? You had your invisible life. You could have been halfway to the border by now. Because when I saw the fires on the news, I realized I didn't want to be a ghost. I wanted to be a father, just once, even if it's the last thing I do. A rocket-propelled grenade screams across the street, hitting a nearby car. The explosion throws everyone to the ground. Jae-hun, get the heavy equipment. Trey, we need a path to the ventilation hub. That's 3 blocks into the red zone, Dahlia. We'll be sitting ducks. Then we stop being ducks. We become the tigers. The group is moving through the old veins, steam pipes and electrical conduits that predated the high-rises. Marcus is clutching his side. A piece of shrapnel from the RPG blast has opened a jagged wound in his abdomen. He's leaving a trail of dark blood on the concrete. Keep your weight on me, Marcus. We're almost at the primary hub. No, I'm slowing you down. Listen to that sound. The fans are cycling. Song's men are already at the top level. They're prepping the canisters. Suddenly, the heavy steel door at the end of the tunnel is kicked in. Song's elite guard begins pouring through, their tactical lights cutting through the steam. They've cut us off! We're pinned! Marcus looks at the narrow bottleneck of the tunnel behind them. He looks at Dahlia, then at the lead-lined briefcase she's carrying. Marcus, give me your extra grenades, Jae-hun, and the radio. No, we're not leaving you. Dahlia, for 10 years I ran. I was a ghost, but right now I'm the only thing standing between those monsters and the girl I used to hold in my arms. Go, save the people, save the momma. He shoves her toward the service ladder leading to the hub's control room. Take care of her, or I'll haunt you from the hell I'm headed to. Jae-hun nods, a soldier's silent respect, and hauls Dahlia up the ladder, just as the first volley of gunfire erupts. Marcus turns back toward the tunnel entrance, a grenade in each hand, his back against the cold pipe. Dahlia, the tunnel is gone. Marcus is gone. I'm at the hub. Song is here. Song. He died for nothing, little girl. I've already initiated the sequence. In 60 seconds, the 4th district stops breathing. The room is a cathedral of industrial steel. Massive fan blades, 30 feet in diameter, spin with enough force to create a localized windstorm. Song stands on the central control platform, holding a remote detonator. 3 canisters of the chemical agent are already locked into the intake manifold. You're too late. The pressure is building. Once the intake hit 100%, the valves lock. Even if you kill me, the 4th district is a graveyard by sunrise. Dahlia steps out on the narrow catwalk. She's alone. Jae-hun is pinned down by the last of Song's guards at the entrance. She looks at the computer terminal, then at the spinning blades. I don't need to kill you to stop the gas. I just need to break the machine. Dahlia lunges. She doesn't go for Song. She dives for the manual override lever. Song intercepts her, swinging a heavy iron pipe. The blow catches Dahlia in the ribs, sending her sprawling toward the edge of the catwalk. Below her, the secondary intake fan is a blur of certain death. You think you're a hero. You're just a kid playing with monsters' toys. Dahlia spits blood. She looks at the terminal. The upload bar is at 40%. It's too slow. The gas is already hissing into the main shaft. Jae-hun, if the valves lock, can we reverse